What if I told you that one of the biggest movie stars on the planet, a man whose name is synonymous with global fame and action-packed blockbusters, manages to stay humble and grounded in the face of unimaginable success? That's right. Keanu Reeves, who has starred in iconic films like The Matrix, John Wick, and Speed, is known not just for his acting talent, but for his quiet humility and kindness. So, how does Keanu Reeves stay grounded despite global fame? Let's take a look at the incredible journey that has allowed him to remain one of the most beloved, yet down-to-earth stars in Hollywood. Keanu Reeves's story is one of resilience and perseverance. Unlike many of his Hollywood peers, Keanu wasn't born into privilege or luxury. His early life was filled with instability, and it's this experience that has shaped the grounded nature that has made him so beloved today. Born in Beirut, Lebanon, Keanu's family soon moved to Toronto, Canada, where he spent much of his childhood. The separation of his parents when he was young meant that Keanu, like many children of broken homes, had to adjust to a life of uncertainty. His upbringing involved moving between different schools and adapting to new environments on a frequent basis, which meant that he didn't have a consistent support system or the stability that many others took for granted. Growing up in a modest setting, Keanu was not surrounded by the wealth and resources that often help young people break into the entertainment industry. He didn't come from a family with connections in Hollywood, nor did he have the kind of glamorous background that is often associated with major stars. Instead, Keanu learned early on that life wasn't easy and success wasn't guaranteed. He learned that to succeed, he had to work hard, put in the hours, and fight for every opportunity. His early life had taught him the value of resilience, something that would be essential as he navigated his way through the world of entertainment. While many actors had family members who were already established in the industry or who could help them get their start, Keanu didn't have those advantages. His parents had no ties to the entertainment world, and he had to rely solely on his own talent and determination. Despite this, Keanu's passion for acting was clear from an early age. He was drawn to the arts and began performing in school plays. He wasn't one to shy away from hard work, and it wasn't long before he began to take his dreams more seriously. His passion for acting led him to seek out opportunities in theater, commercials, and TV shows, but getting noticed wasn't easy. Keanu's early career wasn't filled with instant recognition or fame. He had to fight for every role he landed. His first major acting gigs came in the form of small roles in commercials and TV shows, where he gained experience but didn't receive the spotlight. These early jobs weren't glamorous, and they didn't pay much, but they were crucial in helping him hone his craft and develop a deeper understanding of the industry. There were times when Keanu struggled financially and emotionally, but his love for acting kept him going. Even when the industry didn't immediately recognize his potential, he continued to work tirelessly, believing that his time would come. As a young actor trying to break into the industry, Keanu had to learn the ropes from the ground up. Unlike many who are given opportunities through family connections or prior experience, Keanu had to prove himself through sheer dedication. He wasn't an instant star, and he didn't take shortcuts. What stood out most was his unwavering belief in his craft. He kept pushing forward, regardless of the obstacles in his path. Keanu knew that success in Hollywood wasn't guaranteed, and the struggle to make a name for oneself was part of the process. This mentality would shape him throughout his entire career, ensuring that he stayed humble and focused, even when fame came knocking. His breakthrough came in 1989 with the film Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. The film was a quirky, time-traveling comedy, and Keanu's portrayal of Ted Theodore Logan made him an overnight sensation. The success of Bill and Ted brought Keanu widespread recognition and put him on the map as one of Hollywood's rising stars. However, despite the movie's success, Keanu never allowed it to define him or his career. He wasn't interested in becoming a one-hit wonder or being typecast in a specific role. Instead, he saw Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure as a stepping stone and as an opportunity to show that he had more to offer as an actor. The success of Bill and Ted was important for Keanu, but it didn't change the way he approached his work. Unlike other stars who might have been lured into the temptations of fame, Keanu remained committed to his craft and refused to be defined by his early success. He understood that fame could be fleeting, and that true success was built on staying true to yourself and following your passion. He wasn't chasing the fame or the accolades. He was focused on improving as an actor, taking on roles that challenged him and allowed him to grow. This early success also taught Keanu a valuable lesson. Fame isn't everything. It's easy for someone to become consumed by the pursuit of recognition, but Keanu didn't fall into that trap. He understood that while fame could bring you attention, it wasn't a measure of your worth or the measure of your success. In fact, Keanu's decision to stay grounded and not let fame dictate his life was one of the reasons he was able to maintain a career that has lasted over 3 decades. He focused on acting because it was his passion, not because it was a means to fame or fortune. As his career progressed, Keanu made it clear that he was not interested in the glamorous lifestyle associated with Hollywood. Instead of attending lavish parties or courting the media spotlight, he chose to live a simple and private life. He is often seen as one of the most humble stars in Hollywood, someone who continues to value authenticity over fame. Keanu's generosity and down-to-earth personality have only reinforced his reputation as one of the most grounded stars in the industry. Keanu's humility and work ethic have set him apart from many of his peers. He's never sought the spotlight for the sake of being famous. He's always been focused on creating meaningful work and making a difference in the lives of others. Keanu's dedication to acting, his refusal to become consumed by the trappings of fame, and his unwavering belief in himself despite the challenges he faced early on, are a testament to his character. His rise to stardom wasn't just a result of his undeniable talent, but also of his authenticity and humility, qualities that have allowed him to remain grounded throughout his career. Keanu's early career is a testament to what happens when you focus on the work and not the rewards. His story teaches us that success is not defined by how many people know your name or how much money you make, but by your commitment to what you love, your integrity, and your ability to stay true to who you are. Keanu's journey from humble beginnings to Hollywood icon shows us that with hard work, dedication, and humility, anything is possible. His story is an inspiration for anyone who has ever struggled or doubted themselves, a reminder that fame may come, but the real victory lies in remaining grounded, humble, and true to your passion. As Keanu Reeves' career grew, so did the expectations placed upon him. The rise to stardom wasn't as straightforward as it seemed. For someone who had been relatively unknown before the massive success of Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, he now found himself at the peak of Hollywood's glittering world. With his starring role in The Matrix, 1999, and its sequels, Keanu was catapulted into global fame, becoming one of the most recognized faces in the entertainment industry. Yet, as many actors in the spotlight experience, this fame didn't necessarily bring the peace and happiness that the public often associates with stardom. The pressures of fame began to weigh heavily on Keanu. Hollywood is notoriously fleeting. One moment you're on top, and the next, you're forgotten. The very nature of the industry, with its obsession with the next big thing, meant that Keanu was constantly fighting to stay relevant. The acclaim that came with The Matrix was incredible, but it also came with an immense amount of pressure to continue delivering. The media's attention, the constant scrutiny, and the expectation that he would always be at the top began to take their toll. The assumption from the outside was that fame and fortune should bring joy, but for Keanu, it did the opposite. It brought anxiety, uncertainty, and a sense of isolation. His every move, every decision, and even his private life were under the microscope. In a world obsessed with celebrity culture, Keanu's every action was subject to critique, whether positive or negative. During this time, Keanu had to navigate a rough patch in his career. Despite the overwhelming success of The Matrix, the years following saw several of his projects fail, both critically and commercially. Films like The Devil's Advocate, 1997, and Chain Reaction, 1996, which had been expected to do well, ended up underperforming at the box office. This period of critical and commercial disappointments hit Keanu hard, as he had always taken his craft seriously. For someone who had worked so hard to reach the heights of success, it was a bitter pill to swallow. The industry had a tendency to discard actors after a few missteps, and Keanu could have easily found himself on the outs. Hollywood is a tough industry where yesterday's star can quickly become today's forgotten name. But through all of this, Keanu maintained a level of integrity and authenticity that set him apart from many of his peers. While many stars might have been consumed by the pressures of fame, Keanu didn't let the spotlight define him. He didn't let his success change who he was at his core. Whereas many actors strive for more fame, more recognition, more money, Keanu chose a different path. He was never interested in the luxuries that came with his fame, nor did he crave the constant media attention. He didn't invest in the trappings of fame, luxury cars, designer clothes, or extravagant parties. Instead, he began to lean into the things that mattered most to him: his craft, his family, and his friends. Keanu's true passion remained in acting, not for the fame, but for the art itself. He realized early on that his craft was what kept him grounded, not the accolades or the red carpets. This helped him avoid the trappings of Hollywood's superficial world. He didn't want to be known for his wealth or celebrity status. He wanted to be known for his work. This drive to focus on what was important to him allowed Keanu to navigate the pressures of fame without losing himself in the process. While many actors would take advantage of their fame to boost their brand or social status, Keanu didn't see the need for that. Instead, he made conscious decisions to remain true to himself, whether he was starring in a blockbuster film or a smaller indie project. His choice to remain selective about his roles, rather than simply chasing fame, is part of what has made his career stand out in an industry that often values commercial success over artistic integrity. Even in the face of setbacks, Keanu didn't allow Hollywood's fickleness to change him. He had witnessed the rise and fall of many stars and had seen firsthand how easy it was for someone to be chewed up and spit out by the industry. He chose a different path, one that prioritized the things that made him happiest, rather than what the world expected from him. Family was always a priority for Keanu, and he remained close to his loved ones throughout his career. He found solace in spending time with the people who had supported him from the beginning. The love and comfort of those closest to him grounded him in a way that fame never could. Keanu's relationship with his friends and family, as well as his focus on maintaining his sense of self, is a major reason why he remains one of Hollywood's most grounded stars. In an industry where many actors struggle with loneliness and the pressures of living up to public expectations, Keanu kept a select group of people around him who helped him keep perspective. His loyalty to those who were there for him before he became a household name was unwavering, and that helped keep him humble in a world that is often defined by superficiality. Despite the setbacks he faced, Keanu's ability to stay true to himself helped him endure the highs and lows of fame. As the years went on, Keanu continued to work, taking on roles that challenged him artistically rather than commercially. His humility and focus on his craft were evident in his choices, including his commitment to performing many of his own stunts in action films. Keanu also made a conscious decision to stay out of the media's gaze as much as possible, refusing to participate in the celebrity culture that so many others embraced. This quiet determination to avoid the noise of fame allowed him to maintain a sense of control over his life and career. In the end, Keanu's ability to remain grounded despite the immense fame he attained speaks to the strength of his character. While the world around him has been filled with expectations, distractions, and the lure of excess, Keanu has consistently chosen a path of authenticity. He has proven that it's possible to succeed in Hollywood while staying true to your values and remaining humble in the face of global fame. He didn't let Hollywood's pressures, fame, or the media's fixation on his personal life define him, and that's why he remains one of the most beloved and respected stars in the world. For Keanu, success is about staying grounded and connected to the things that matter most: family, friends, and his passion for acting. His journey shows us that true success isn't just about fame. It's about staying true to who you are, no matter how high you climb. Even as Keanu Reeves' career soared to new heights in the 1990s, life began to throw unimaginable personal challenges his way. While many saw him as the poster child for Hollywood success, his life behind the scenes was filled with profound grief and hardship that could have easily shattered anyone's sense of self. Keanu was no stranger to loss, but the weight of these tragedies during this period in his life proved to be an overwhelming test of resilience and emotional strength. One of the most devastating blows came in 1993 with the tragic death of his close friend and fellow actor, River Phoenix. River had been a rising star and someone Keanu deeply admired. They had formed a bond that extended beyond their work together in films. They had become close confidants, sharing their experiences in an industry that often felt cold and isolating. River's untimely overdose left Keanu heartbroken, and the loss of his dear friend was something that would stay with him for the rest of his life. Phoenix had been not just a colleague, but a kindred spirit, someone who had shared the struggles and pressures of Hollywood stardom with Keanu. To lose him so suddenly and in such tragic circumstances was a blow that left Keanu reeling. The grief of losing a close friend at such a young age was profound, and Keanu found himself struggling with how to process the pain. The world, of course, expected Keanu to move on, to continue his career with the same zeal as before, but the truth was, he was deeply affected by the loss. The media often doesn't acknowledge the emotional toll that comes with losing a loved one, especially when that loss occurs under such tragic circumstances. For Keanu, however, the loss of River Phoenix marked the beginning of a period of emotional struggle. Despite the pain, Keanu kept a relatively low profile, choosing not to let his personal grief be something that defined him in the public eye. This was something Keanu would continue to do throughout his life. He remained private about his personal suffering, never allowing it to turn into a spectacle for the world to consume. But the 1990s would hold more heartache for Keanu. In 1999, just a few years after losing River, Keanu faced the gut-wrenching stillbirth of his daughter. The loss of a child is one of the most excruciating experiences a parent can endure, and for Keanu, it was an unimaginable tragedy. At the time, Keanu was in a relationship with Jennifer Syme, and they had been expecting their child together. The stillbirth was devastating for both of them, and it took Keanu a long time to process the emotional turmoil that followed. This tragic event was compounded by the loss of Jennifer Syme herself, who died in a car accident just a few months later. Jennifer's death was a cruel twist of fate that left Keanu dealing with not one, but two immense losses. Losing the person he had shared so much of his life with, as well as the child they had both been so excited to welcome into the world, was a sorrow that few can imagine. The combination of these losses, the death of River Phoenix, the stillbirth of his daughter, and the tragic death of Jennifer, would have caused any person to retreat from the world, to succumb to despair. Yet Keanu's response was markedly different from what the public might have expected. Instead of falling victim to the pressures of fame or using his personal suffering as an excuse for attention or sympathy, Keanu chose to move forward with remarkable quiet strength. The grief he felt was deeply personal, and he did not seek validation from the public or the media. He didn't want to make his pain the subject of public discourse or be dragged into the media circus that so often surrounds stars in the aftermath of personal tragedies. Keanu's handling of these losses in the public eye showed an incredible amount of emotional maturity and resilience. While others in the industry might have turned to substance abuse or public outbursts to cope with their pain, Keanu chose a different path. He stayed true to himself, retreating from the media's prying eyes and refusing to let the public's hunger for drama dictate how he lived his life. Keanu's choice to maintain his privacy during this time spoke volumes about his character. While his peers might have leaned into their fame or allowed the public to exploit their grief, Keanu chose to keep his personal struggles private. During this period of overwhelming sorrow, Keanu also chose to focus on the things that mattered most to him: his work, his family, and his healing. Despite the intense pain he was experiencing, Keanu continued to act, but he did so with a renewed sense of purpose. His focus was no longer on building a career or chasing fame. Instead, it was on pursuing roles that helped him heal and grow. His dedication to his craft remained strong, but it was never at the expense of his own well-being. Keanu's ability to keep working, despite the emotional toll of his personal tragedies, showed his resilience and unwavering dedication to his art. Through this period of grief, Keanu showed that strength doesn't come from avoiding pain, but from facing it head-on. His humility during these difficult years set him apart from many others in Hollywood who often use their personal struggles as a way to generate publicity or sympathy. Keanu never allowed his pain to define him in that way. Instead, he quietly carried it, focusing on the things that were most important to him and letting his grief be something he processed privately. His ability to maintain a low profile and stay grounded during such a difficult period demonstrated the strength of his character. Keanu's response to these heart-wrenching losses has become one of the defining features of his life. While many celebrities might turn to substance abuse, controversy, or public displays of emotion to cope with tragedy, Keanu has remained a symbol of quiet strength. His ability to navigate such intense grief without letting it consume him or define his identity is truly remarkable. It's this quiet resilience that has earned him the admiration of fans and colleagues alike. Keanu's story is a reminder that even in the face of the greatest heartbreak, it's possible to move forward with grace and strength, not by retreating into despair, but by choosing to heal and grow. The turning point in Keanu Reeves' career came with the unexpected success of the John Wick franchise, which began in 2014. After a period of quieter roles and some uncertainty in his career, Keanu stunned both fans and critics alike with his portrayal of John Wick, a retired hitman seeking vengeance for the brutal loss of his beloved dog, a final gift from his recently deceased wife. The John Wick films not only reinvigorated Keanu's career, but they also reintroduced him to the public eye in a way that felt fresh and dynamic. After a series of quieter, less high-profile roles, many wondered if Keanu's star was starting to fade, but John Wick proved them wrong in spectacular fashion. What made John Wick so special, beyond its incredible action sequences and breathtaking choreography, was the depth Keanu brought to the role. While action films are often known for their fast-paced sequences and physicality, Keanu managed to inject a profound emotional complexity into his character. At its surface, John Wick was a high-octane revenge thriller, but beneath that, it was a deeply personal journey about loss, grief, and redemption. Keanu's portrayal of a man who has lost everything and is now driven by the sole purpose of avenging that loss resonated with audiences on a much deeper level than anyone expected. His character, John Wick, was not just a cold, calculating killer. He was a man who had experienced real pain, and Keanu's performance captured that pain in a raw, visceral way. One of the reasons Keanu's portrayal of John Wick was so powerful was that it combined his signature stoicism with moments of vulnerability. While the character's stoic nature might be expected in an action film hero, Keanu managed to convey a deep sadness in the way John Wick carried himself. His performance didn't rely on loud speeches or overt displays of emotion. Instead, Keanu used small, nuanced moments to express John's pain and the emotional weight he carried with him. The loss of his wife and the dog she left behind were not just plot devices, they were the driving force behind John Wick's motivations. Keanu's subtle yet deeply expressive performance ensured that the audience felt the gravity of that loss with him. Moreover, John Wick showcased Keanu's remarkable physical transformation. Keanu committed himself to extensive training to ensure that he could perform many of his own stunts and fight scenes. The result was a film that felt both grounded and intense. Each fight sequence felt purposeful and methodical rather than chaotic, and Keanu's commitment to realism gave the movie a unique energy. His intense preparation and dedication to the physicality of the role reflected the character's own discipline and commitment to his mission. But this dedication didn't just show in the action scenes, it translated into a deeper understanding of the character's emotional core. The success of John Wick was a surprise to many, but for those who knew Keanu's career trajectory, it felt like a natural progression. Keanu's career had been one of ups and downs, with periods of incredible success, followed by quieter moments where his work didn't receive the same level of attention. However, Keanu had always been focused on the quality of his work rather than chasing fame for its own sake. He had remained true to his craft, taking roles that spoke to him and allowed him to grow as an actor. Despite the fame and accolades he had received throughout his career, Keanu was never the type to pursue the limelight for the sake of fame itself. Instead, his focus had always been on doing work that resonated with him personally and professionally. John Wick marked a return to that essence. It gave him the opportunity to reflect on his journey and to continue challenging himself as an actor. Keanu's success with John Wick was a reminder to audiences and industry insiders alike that true talent transcends trends. Hollywood often favors the next big thing, and actors are often forgotten once the hype surrounding them dies down. However, Keanu's ability to remain relevant and respected, even after years of quieter periods, spoke to his lasting power in the industry. His career was a testament to the importance of staying grounded and true to one's values. While other actors might have fallen victim to the pressures of fame and the fickleness of the industry, Keanu managed to remain authentic to who he was as a person and an actor. In a world where trends often dictate success, Keanu's ability to reinvigorate his career on his own terms was a reminder that there is no expiration date for real talent. The character of John Wick allowed Keanu to explore new facets of his acting ability, but it also provided him with a chance to reflect on the journey he had been on. By the time the John Wick franchise took off, Keanu had already been in the industry for decades. He had experienced both the highs of superstardom and the lows of uncertainty. John Wick wasn't just a commercial success, it was a personal milestone that allowed Keanu to reconnect with the heart of what had driven him to acting in the first place. It gave him a new platform to explore the complexities of a character who wasn't just an action hero, but a man with real emotional depth. Keanu's ability to navigate the ups and downs of his career without losing his authenticity or passion for acting set him apart from many of his peers. He didn't allow his earlier fame to dictate the roles he took. He remained focused on what mattered to him most. This commitment to authenticity has been a consistent theme throughout his career, and one of the main reasons he continues to be such a respected figure in Hollywood. The John Wick franchise was not just a career comeback. It was a statement that Keanu was still capable of delivering incredible performances and that his passion for his craft had never waned. For Keanu, John Wick wasn't just another franchise. It was an opportunity to grow as an actor, to take on a character that was both complex and powerful, and to remind the world that talent, when nurtured and allowed to flourish, can stand the test of time. His success with John Wick marked a fresh start in his career, but it also reflected the culmination of everything Keanu had experienced in Hollywood, the highs, the lows, the struggles, and the triumphs. Through it all, Keanu remained true to his own values, and John Wick was proof that resilience, authenticity, and a commitment to one's craft could result in success that transcended trends. The story of John Wick's revenge became a metaphor for Keanu's own journey, one of perseverance, self-reflection, and a relentless pursuit of purpose. Keanu Reeves' ability to stay grounded despite the immense fame and success he has experienced is a testament to his character, offering a remarkable example of resilience, authenticity, and kindness. Throughout his career, Keanu has faced personal losses, career setbacks, and the demanding nature of Hollywood. Yet he has remained true to himself in ways that few in the entertainment industry manage to do. The pressures of fame, the expectations placed on him by both the public and the industry, and the inevitable challenges that come with being a global superstar could have easily led Keanu down a different path. But he has consistently chosen to live life on his own terms, without succumbing to the trappings of fame, wealth, or the superficiality that so often surrounds the world of stardom. Keanu's journey has been anything but typical. Raised in a broken home, his early years were marked by instability, yet it was during these formative years that Keanu developed a sense of humility that would stay with him throughout his life. Unlike many of his Hollywood peers, Keanu didn't grow up surrounded by wealth, privilege, or industry connections. Instead, he worked tirelessly to carve out a career for himself, driven by a genuine passion for acting rather than the pursuit of fame or fortune. His journey into acting was not handed to him on a silver platter. He didn't have the luxury of relying on family connections or a famous last name. Instead, Keanu proved himself through perseverance, hard work, and a genuine love for the craft. This humble beginning shaped who he would become as an actor and as a person. Keanu's approach to fame is one of the defining aspects of his career. While many actors would be quick to bask in the spotlight, he has always chosen to shy away from it. He has often been seen as an enigma, someone who doesn't seek out attention but rather lives a life of quiet dignity. Keanu has built a reputation for kindness, humility, and generosity, earning respect not just from fans, but from his colleagues in the industry as well. Stories of his generosity abound, from the millions he's donated to charity to his selfless acts on film sets, such as when he gave up a portion of his earnings from the Matrix sequels to ensure his stunt team and special effects crew received their fair share of compensation. His actions speak volumes about his character and his belief that success should be shared, not hoarded. Keanu's ability to remain humble and grounded despite his global fame is something that has been highlighted by both fans and peers. In a world where many actors become consumed by the allure of wealth and recognition, Keanu stands out as someone who has never let fame define him. He has always been more interested in the art of acting, the process of creating something meaningful, than in accumulating accolades or public adoration. His career has been built on the foundation of passion and dedication to his craft, rather than the pursuit of fame for fame's sake. This sense of purpose has allowed him to stay true to his values, even when faced with the overwhelming pressures of Hollywood's fame machine. But Keanu's journey hasn't been without its hardships. In fact, it's his ability to navigate through these challenges that makes his story even more inspiring. Throughout his life and career, Keanu has faced personal tragedies that would have shattered the resolve of many. The loss of his close friend, River Phoenix, in the early 90s, the stillbirth of his daughter, and the tragic death of his partner, Jennifer Syme, all occurred during periods when Keanu was at the height of his fame. These deeply painful moments could have easily consumed him, as they often do to others who find themselves in similar situations. But instead of letting grief define him, Keanu chose to continue moving forward with quiet strength and dignity. His ability to keep working, to keep moving forward despite the overwhelming pain, demonstrated a resilience that is rare in the world of celebrities. Keanu's response to these personal tragedies was not to retreat into seclusion or turn to the distractions of fame, as many would expect. Instead, he remained focused on his work, choosing roles that were meaningful to him and allowed him to continue growing as an actor. He didn't use his personal pain as a way to seek sympathy or attention. Rather, he focused on the things that mattered most to him: his craft, his family, and his healing. By maintaining a low profile and staying true to his work, Keanu showed the world that it is possible to endure immense personal suffering without losing sight of what is important. In the face of such adversity, Keanu also demonstrated the power of kindness and generosity. His humility and grounded nature are not just evident in his actions on screen, but in his everyday life. He is known for his down-to-earth demeanor and his ability to connect with people from all walks of life. Whether it's through his interactions with fans, his support for charity, or his humble approach to success, Keanu has proven time and again that true greatness lies in how we treat others. In a world where many celebrities are focused on self-promotion and personal gain, Keanu has remained an example of how kindness, humility, and authenticity can leave a lasting impact on those around you. Keanu's story teaches us that success is not measured by the number of awards we accumulate or the amount of wealth we amass. True success comes from staying true to who we are, finding meaning in the work we do, and maintaining a sense of humility regardless of how far we rise. Keanu has shown that fame and success are fleeting, but the values of kindness, generosity, and authenticity are what truly matter. It's not about how much you have or how many people recognize you. It's about living a life that is grounded in integrity and purpose. When we face our own challenges, Keanu's story serves as a powerful reminder that resilience, authenticity, and kindness are the true measures of success, no matter the hardships we may face. Staying grounded and staying true to our values can help us navigate through even the darkest times. Keanu's journey shows us that success isn't just about what you achieve, but about how you remain true to yourself and the people around you. If this story has inspired you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more uplifting stories. Because sometimes, the greatest victories come from the hardest battles, and true strength is found in staying grounded. Just like Keanu, we all have the power to rise above challenges with grace and integrity.